Video Games Recon.
Hello and welcome. My name is Nate from Video Games Recon, and in this series of videos I will be discussing all of the weapons from Call of Duty Ghosts, giving my opinion on the weapon in question and its characteristics, as well as some general information. Keep in mind this video will probably be released before any patches, so the guns may change somewhat by the time you watch this video. However, if I feel the weapon has changed significantly, I may make an update, and if so, I'll put an annotation on the screen now so you can check it out. Also, this series was filmed before I had prestiged, and thus obviously didn't have all weapons available to compare. So most of the footage in this series will feature bots on mixed difficulty settings. So if you complain that I'm playing against bots instead of on multiplayer even after I've explained why and you're not joking, then that says a lot more about you than it does this video. Also, for your interest, all weapons in this series will feature like-for-like attachments in the footage where possible, and mostly only sights attachments as fair a comparison as possible. Anywho, enough of my jibber jabber, and without any further ado, let's do it to it. The SC-2010 is one of the most balanced assault rifles available, with great accuracy and range, and even better recoil reduction. This for me is your typical balanced beginner Call of Duty fully automatic assault rifle, with good range and low recoil, which ends up suffering a bit when it comes to power, like for example the M4A1 from Modern Warfare 3 and the M27 from Black Ops 2. However, unlike those guns, the SC-2010 seems to start with a higher power base, making it much more of a gun for all jobs instead of just for a specific task like similar guns from previous Call of Duties. The SA-805. This weapon to me feels like a love child of an M27 and Scar H that is fairly well balanced with a decent rate of fire and good damage, but struggles with a significant amount of recoil, so even though it has good accuracy and range stats on paper, you may find it difficult to pick out targets at range in reality. The AK-12 is your obligatory Call of Duty AK, with high damage stats and great overall power, which invariably, or at least more often than not, seems to feature low recoil characteristics. And wouldn't you know it, this gun follows suit, with great power and low recoil, making it useful at both close and long range. Plus, it has a nice reload animation, and furthermore, I'm not quite sure why yet, but it feels fun and is a genuine pleasure to use. Some of you may remember this gun from Modern Warfare 3, and just like said game, this gun hasn't changed much. A high rate of fire and a decent accuracy but low damage. This gun is an attempt to be a compromise between an assault rifle and an SMG. However, for me the compromise never really paid off, as it didn't do enough at close range to fare well as a comparison to an SMG, and there are always better assault rifles for medium to long range to choose from. So in my opinion this weapon falls short, as it doesn't do anything particularly well. And I know people might argue that it's designed to sit in the middle ground and doesn't need to be directly compared to either category, but for me it's a compromise too far and doesn't really work. The Remington R5 is a bit of a funny one, as this assault rifle ends up feeling like an LMG, with good accuracy, range and very high damage, combined with a very slow fire rate for an assault rifle, which in fact is needed as the recoil would just be ridiculous, and leave you with no bullets in your magazine or in your opponent's, which, as you can imagine, would be a problem. And talking of problems, the only downside of this weapon is ammo count, as there is only 25 bullets in a standard magazine, so sleight of hand or extended mags is a must for this weapon. That being said, this gun is bags of fun, if just for its uniqueness. The MSBS. This 3-round burst-fire gun is a beast, and by far the most overpowered gun in Call of Duty Ghosts, making it the gun to have if you're going for try-hard mode or are looking to gain XP fast. This weapon reminds me of how the Type 95 was at the beginning of Modern Warfare 3, as it's practically the same situation. An extremely high-powered burst-fire assault rifle that's just as good at range as it is in close quarters, due to the fact that more often than not it's a one-hit kill at close range and easily a 2-hit kill at long range, which is where this gun was really designed to sit, with great range, accuracy and damage. My advice would be, use this gun while you can, as it will probably get nerfed significantly in the next gun patch. This gun is the first of the assault rifles to come with an integrated attachment, as aside from a name that sounds like lady parts or a weird sexual position, the Honey Badger also comes with a free silencer as standard, making this weapon a very interesting proposition indeed, as it basically gives you a free attachment slot, while simultaneously limiting the type of attachments available to equip. So for me, this gun ends up feeling a little bit like an SMG, as it struggles to take down targets at a distance due to its low damage. And even though on paper it says otherwise, I'd say it has below average range compared to most assault rifles, which is probably due to the integrated silencer that gives and takes in equal measure, as it helps you stay off the radar and thus stay alive longer, and again, like I said earlier, basically gives you a free attachment slot. These things combined definitely goes a good way to making this weapon fun and worth using, potentially giving it a place in your arsenal if you set up your loadout properly. The ARX-160 comes with an integrated laser sight, has a high rate of fire and reduced recoil for the first 3 rounds upon firing, making this weapon perfect for close to mid-range battles. Now, the laser sight on this weapon is a bit of a gimmick, but with that being said, when you combine this feature with its high rate of fire, this weapon genuinely becomes pretty handy at close quarters combat, as more often than not you can get away without needing to ADS. However, like I hinted on earlier, this weapon may leave you wanting at picking out targets at long range, so choose your battles carefully. So, that's my thoughts and analysis of the assault rifle class so far. All in all, the assault rifle category is very well balanced, and most, if not all, the guns have a use and are worthy of a potential place in your arsenal. And as I touched on at the start of this video, it's still early days in the life of Call of Duty Ghosts, so my opinion on these guns may change over time. But for now, this is how I feel about the characteristics and usefulness of the weapons available so far. With that being said, all that leaves me to do is pick a best and worst gun from this category. Well, the best assault rifle will be by far the easiest to pick, as the MSBS is probably the best gun in the game right now, as this thing will significantly improve your performance in most, if not all, game types. And as for the worst, well, this one's a bit more tricky, as all the assault rifles are pretty decent. Nevertheless, I think I'll go with the F.A.D, as this weapon is probably the most disappointing, due to all guns in this category outperforming it in the majority of situations, making the F.A.D in general feel like a close but near miss in terms of performance. So, that was my opinion on the weapons in Call of Duty Ghosts. Feel free to leave your thoughts on the guns featured in this video in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please support us by liking, sharing and subscribing for more BS of a similar nature. Thank you and goodbye.